friends, welcome to today's video. I want to quickly apologize, my hands are dirty, but I don't think we've come to expect clean chubby fingers on this channel, so I have been back-to-back filming and I really cleverly chose to film some of the messier videos first, but I think I might still get painty in this video anyway, so, you know, I don't think it really does matter. But you can see I wanted to show you something very new, very exciting, very gorgeous, very been on display in my house because I can't bring myself to use it type item. This is an A3 Chic Sparrow leather journal cover, artist portfolio, traveler's notebook in a huge size, whatever you want to call it. This is A3, it is huge. If you don't know what A3 is, it's basically like 2 sheets of A4 paper next to each other, or US letter size if it was like a little longer and narrower, 2 of those next to each other. So this is massive. I do want to put a disclaimer in before I get too much further. This is actually not an item that Chic Sparrow will be selling. This is not going into the store. This is not becoming a part of the collection. If you did catch the YouTube live, Jen did speak about this and she wanted to test it. I think at the time it didn't have these handles. This was something that she put on after the fact, and I had basically expressed my desire to live a full Jack Dawson Titanic fantasy. You know how he has that little leather notebook that he keeps all of his drawings of his French girls in there? Hashtag draw me like one of your French girls. So I had expressed that to Jen and she was so generous and gifted this to me. So thank you so much, Jen. Thank you everyone at Chic Sparrow that put this together. It's a lot of an incredible effort to make something this luxurious and beautiful. So I just wanted to share it today. Speaking of Titanic, one of my awful thoughts, my first thought, best thought, was that I should make one of those, I should just try and recreate that scene in Titanic. And if you don't know this is a fun fact, but Stella, my homegirl Stella, her favorite movie is Titanic, and she used to hold these events in her home called Titanic Tuesdays, which were just a screening for her every Tuesday of Titanic. And I think anyone who was around just kind of got swept up in the mix. But Stella loves Titanic, so you can go and tell her on her Instagram that I have outed her dirty little secret. Although I don't think it is a secret. She has expressed a mad, deep desire for that movie, and I love it too. And I really wanted to live that fantasy. I thought the most funny way to introduce this was to film a video where Stella was kind of laying down on a chaise longue. I don't know how to say that, fake French, and she's wearing the Heart of the Ocean. Don't know where we're gonna get that, but I was gonna have this journal kind of like just me sketching in it, but you could just see the contour of Stella on the couch. Thumbs up if you want to see that video. I don't think it would be appropriate for YouTube, but that was literally how I thought I was going to show everyone this, and it's just kind of been on display in the house, and people have come over and people have picked it up and they've expressed how beautiful it is, and it's kind of become like a decorative item in the house, and I don't want it to be that. As beautiful as it is, I really want to put it to good use. Steve somehow thought it was for him. He suddenly expressed a desire to start painting, but it's just one of those things that you want to get into it. You look at it and it just makes you want to do it. So thank you again, Jen. I cannot thank you enough times to everyone at Chic Sparrow for sending this over. This is such a beautiful gift. Jen didn't ask me to show it. Jen didn't ask me to do any Instagram about it. Jen didn't ask me to do anything about it, but how could I not? I mean, you're seeing it on the screen. I wish you could see it in person and touch it because it is just gorgina. It's beautifully sewn. You've got all the top stitching here that perfectly matches this leather. It's even kind of like doubled up on the spine for extra durability. Jen did add these straps, which I think are really great because I was thinking about having strings on this. It's quite hefty even without the book in it, and I don't know how well strings would have held up, like the elastics, kind of like the regular traveler's notebook style. So this kind of keeps it all together and makes it seem like a beautifully streamlined briefcase. But seriously, this just, I feel like Karl Lagerfeld should have one of these. This is like one of the most luxurious journal covers I have ever seen in my life. And I'm totally not going to take credit for even getting into this. The first person I think I saw touting an A3 journal cover was Josie's muse, Jo Wholohan. I know I've mentioned her on the channel before. I'll leave her Instagram link in the description below. She was putting these on her Insta story, and I think she has a few, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. Jo, if you're around, just let everyone know how many you have. But they were absolutely gorgeous, and the green-eyed monster in me that honestly is never out, I mean, just ravaged me that day. So I went on a bit of a looking spree around the internet. There are a lot of independent sellers that do A3 journal covers like this. I'm not going to say it's for everyone because an A3 is really substantial a size, and you know, the age-old question, does size matter? Well, yes, no, or maybe. That's my very diplomatic way of saying I don't have the answer to that. But I do think that, you know, in switching up journal sizes, you've got to imagine like how you create. If you're someone that loves to illustrate, but you've only ever illustrated, you know, on A5 pieces of paper or A5 or smaller, when you move to A3, the scale is much bigger. You know, I always say that I kind of get away with a lot at the size that I illustrate because I don't have to draw the hands in, I don't have to draw a lot of details in, I don't have to draw the fingers, or, you know, as detailed as I'll get is the eyelashes because I'll always add lashes, but the actual illustrating on a grand scale like this, you kind of have to put some of that extra stuff in. I'm gonna cheat today and use stamps, but it's one thing to note. If you are kind of confused about whether size would be like a stumbling block for you, just imagine you know the white space that you face when you're, you know, doing what you're doing now. Imagine doubling or tripling that and seeing if you know, I'm not saying don't try it. In fact, I think everyone should try it. I think it's a really great thing to stimulate new creativity, to work in different sizes, but the A3 is huge. Huge, 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 which is also one of the reasons I believe that it won't become a for sale in the Chic Sparrow collection, just because the you know, the time that it takes to make these, the labor, the cost of materials. I mean, you could make like 19 pairs of shoes out of this. It's huge. And also the to factor in a profit margin in that is like, I mean, you're going really luxury items here. So I'm super thankful to have this, and I want to crack into it because I don't want it to just be a little feature in my home as decoration. Although I'll probably just work in it and then put it back out on display. Just so if anyone flips through it, they know that I haven't just wasted my opportunity to use it. But this is a Moleskine notebook. Jen actually sent it over with the notebook in it. It's a hardcover notebook. This is an A3. I don't know what other A3 journals are out there. If you've got any information on A3 covers and A3 journals, please leave it down below because I'm sure a lot of people are curious and I'm not super knowledgeable on all of it. So your advice would really help a lot of people, I think. But this is a hardcover journal, which is great because it keeps the leather, it really keeps a nice form when there's a hardcover journal in here. Otherwise it'd be, you know, really floppy. This is really soft leather, and I kind of like having this sturdiness to it. I love that the Moleskines have as a reward money sign. I don't know how much I would pay to get a journal back. That's an interesting question. If you lost your favorite art journal, how much would you be willing to pay to get it back? I'm pretty frugal, so I'm gonna say I'll just start again. But who knows, maybe there's one that I really would try to get back. I would also have to wonder like who would want to steal it because it's such a personal thing, but either way, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous big notebook. I only have one other Moleskine, which is a Japanese album, which kind of folds out. I'll go grab it. This is the Japanese album, which is kind of an accordion fold album. I'll be honest, the little gouache video that I did in here is the only thing I've done in this because I don't think I loved the accordion idea as much as I thought I would. It was a little gimmicky and I bought into it for a hot minute. Maybe if I had a long panoramic something, but even then you've got folds all the way through it. So it is great though, I don't think it's very versatile for the way that I like to create. In any case, I do want to get into it. I do want to play. I have a new stamp set. This is a 2x6 stamp set. I usually have 4x6 stamp sets, so this is half the size so I could reduce the costs. This was for Playtest Patreon. This is one of the Happy Mailer items. I've got a little sample here of the faces the first time I stamped them out. I'll be honest, I've been so busy with the Etsy store and all the shipping that goes along with that, just keeping the business afloat, preparing for the in-person workshops, Playtest Patreon content, YouTube content. I have another secret project on the side and a few extra commitments that have just seen me swamped lately. So it was kind of sad, but we got halfway through August and I hadn't even played with the July Happy Mailer box. So I've played with this in one video already that's on Patreon, and I do want to use 2 of these stamps today to recreate a piece in here. The piece that I'm recreating is An idea similar to the cover of my sketch planner. I don't think I've ever flipped this, and I'm contemplating flipping it, but there's a lot of secret stuff in here that I can't show just yet. I did a video on this sketch planner called Decorating My Sketch Planner. I know I'm just really obvious like that, where I embossed all of the top. You can see that it's got a lot of love and a lot of use because all of that beautiful copper embossing has kind of lost its luster, which is okay with me because I do need to use this. I'm way too busy to not plan anymore. I don't know if I'm going to use acrylic or watercolor, but I do have this new roll of blue painter's tape. I've been using this a lot lately when I've wanted to have kind of more finished pieces in my journal. I've got an example here. I like to mask off areas of the journal so that A, I don't have to cover the whole page, but B, I think it just creates a really beautiful framing kind of device for the art that I end up creating. So this is something that I'm going to do today because I'm still honestly a bit scared of an A3 size. It is huge, and the stamps that I have are not going to, well, I mean, they will cover the whole page if I keep stamping them, but that's like 9,000 faces. So I'm going to use the idea of the cover of this sketch planner, some stamps to cheat my drawing, and mask it off with this blue tape. I'm going to just add music to this and kind of time-lapse you through it. Please accept my most humble apology for showing you something so gorgeous that isn't available for purchase. I usually don't like to do that or until I know where people can purchase things because I know we all love to be a little enabled, and to see something that you can't have is probably just going to make you want it even more. So please resist the urge to blow up the customer service hotline at Chic Sparrow. Like I said, Jen does not plan on putting this into production or having it for sale at all. So like I said, there will be people, hopefully Josie's Muse, go and catch her on Instagram. There are independent sellers that do A3 journals, and I'm sure there's a bunch out there that people already rate and recommend. So let's get into it and face my fear of tackling this super large page. Okay, bye.
Devotion that brings me down, that without my love for the ocean I will be no one, no my love is for the old.